No, I think I agree with that. Now I'm gonna ask you one more question. Then I want to show you a couple videos. I have a pretty interesting lineup here.
Okay,
for
hell
you.
yeah, fuck yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, like, you're working in Austin, Texas, which
Mm-hmm.
has, like we said, like becoming one of the biggest comedy scenes, arguably in the entire world.
Yeah, right now I think it's the only thing that can hold a light to it is New York.
Exactly, yeah. And so, what's it like here right now? You're working in Creek in the Cave. Obviously, there's Mothership. There's a couple different clubs, but like, I mean, what's the experience with the comedians? Are there like two separate groups? Is it like,
Yeah, okay, there's definitely...
is it toxic? Is it?
Oh, it's toxic. Okay, so it's like... To put it in like a wide perspective, and then I'll dive a little bit deeper into the other things you're asking. What it's like is it's the most amazing thing because you have all walks of life of comedy right now. Like in a day, like I can go to an open mic, which is like the bottom level of comedy, and I can be around a bunch of people I don't know. I can go up for a fucking awful crowd that didn't know there was going to be an open mic and doesn't want to listen to comedy. And I'm doing 3 minutes, which just feels like you're like, I waited an hour and a half to do 3 fucking minutes with no one listening to me. You bomb and it's horrible. But then I can walk a block down and perform at like the world famous Creek in the Cave and walk 5 minutes away to Sunset Strip, Comedy Mothership, East Austin Comedy Club, all these phenomenal venues. And so you can have these things where you're performing with absolute nobodies at nowhere. And then like the other Thursday night, I sit down in the green room, and the thing that I always play on Thursday nights at the 10 p.m. Creek show is we watch BattleBots in the green room. It's just dumb and funny, and it puts everyone in a good mood. And everyone at first is like, what the fuck is this? And then by the end of it, they're like, this is the sickest thing I've ever seen. Because it's just this robot smashing each other. And like the other night, I get in the green room and Craig Robinson is hanging out in there from The Office, Hot Tub Time Machine, hilarious comedian. And he's kind of keeping to himself, smoking his joint in the corner, just being cool, very polite, And like the thing I love, like so cool about meeting famous people like that is like he's Craig Robinson. If Craig Robinson wants my show, he can have it. He's Craig Robinson.
Right.
If he looked at the owner and was like, I want to go run my hour and let's use me to promote, they're canceling my show and they're putting Craig Robinson's show. And I'm going to go, that was a good idea. That's a great idea. But he's there hanging out and I'm like, hey man, do you want to do a spot tonight? And he's like, dude, I don't want to kick anyone off lineup. Like, am I taking anyone's spot? Am I ruining your show? And I'm like, no, you're Craig Robinson. I'm like, I'm being more polite, but then he's like so nice. And then he's keeping to himself and we're watching BattleBots. And then just like a minute or two into watching BattleBots, he just goes, yo, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, it's BattleBots. He's like, what's BattleBots? And I like explain it to him. 20 minutes later, Craig Robinson is going, come on, Destroyer, fucking get his ass. He's screaming at the TV. He's so invested in BattleBots. So like the cool thing of being in this world is like you get to perform with all different walks of people. There's all kinds. One of my favorite comedians in the game right now is Shane Gillis and Matt McCusker. And like a month ago, I'm getting ready to go up and they're like, hey, you're up. I know they said you were bringing up so-and-so. Do you know Matt McCusker? You're going to bring him up. Can you go talk to him real quick? And I'm walking over and I'm like, hi, Matt, I'm Brandon. And he goes, Brandon, nice to meet you. And I'm like, what credits do you want? Damn well knowing I can fucking say his credits off the back of my hand. And I get to go up right before him. I get to bring him up, one of my idols in comedy. We're walking by each other. He's like, great set. He leaves. He comes up to me. He's like, hey, man, phenomenal set. Like, the next time I see him, he's like, Brandon, good to see you. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm like meeting my idols and getting to work with them. And like, I'm still so far from the moniker of like true success in stand-up, but such a wild ride of all different levels,
right?
Which is so cool.
I mean, where you were at 4 years ago compared to right now, I mean, that's crazy strides.
Totally. Doing park mics in California where they didn't let us use a mic because it was COVID. So you're just on a bench yelling to people.
The fuck kind of a rule is that? I don't know.
Dude, chaos. So it's so cool. And then to like the other thing of like groups, there's so many groups and it's like most get along, but it's like, I found my group of people and I love them. And there's some of the funniest comedians in town, like Nat Rogachevsky, De La Mendoza, Spencer Cavins, like Jordan McDonald, dudes that are just like so fucking funny, but like no one knows who they are yet.
Right.
But like if you've seen them on a lineup, they're a killer. So good. And then there's people that it's like, I've never had a beer with like Cam Patterson or any of those guys, but every time Cam sees me, we dap each other up like we're best friends. How you doing? Catch up on life real quick. Very cordial, like he's done my shows. I do his shows. Like, there is such a sense of camaraderie in the scene that is so great. A bunch amongst of groups, But there's also our fucking goblins and trolls that cause drama and problems. And
what do you think that is? Do you think it's
jealousy?
You think it's okay? So you think it's mainly jealousy? I didn't know if it was maybe where they're from that plays into it a little bit, or if it's mainly just people who are just career focused and just, like you said, just.
I gave the wrong answer. The correct answer is mental illness. That's what it is. Mental illness and drugs. I would like to rephrase my statement there. Yeah, but
take him to Kensington.
100%. Well, because a lot of the crazy, like the crazy people kind of like weed themselves out of success because they become so crazy that you're like, I can't book them because they're going to be crazy on stage or they're going to be crazy in the green room, and I don't want to hang out with them because, like, dude, I'm going to be honest, like, and if you put a gun to comedians' heads and ask them, most comedians now that we're at the level that like we're successful, people are going to book you on their shows because you're funny and you also run shows and you're part of the ecosystem. So it's all going to exchange. You're not really worried about like, what are they getting and I'm not. Is like, dude, you book a lineup because you're like, I want to fucking hang out with these 5 people tonight because they're chilling. They're my friends.
That's the coolest part about it. Where it's like, if that's really the mindset going in, it's like, dude, what fucking better job or system could you be in than that? Oh, I'm just going to book these people because I just want to see them tonight. Like, that's so fucking sick.
So good. And you book them, you know, obviously they have to be funny.
Well, yeah,
but it's
clearly,
like
they can't just suck. But
you kind of don't hang around those people because, like, the people who suck, like, normally don't care. They weed themselves out. They give up. They quit. They become part-time. And there's nothing wrong with a part-time comedian, but, like, if you hang out with a part-time comedian, it's 10 minutes till we're sitting in the circle, and instead of it being a fun riff sesh, they're just like, yeah, bro, like, I just, like, life's been fucking crazy, and, like, I know I ain't been around enough, and, like, I gotta fucking get back out there and on the grind. Like, if I just, you know, I'm funny, dog. Like, if I just gave the effort that you did, man, I could be successful. And you're just like, yeah, man, you said this the last 5 times we hung out.
That honestly sounds more like a drunken rant than it does just a straight up.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, hey, let me tell you how I'm really feeling. I had like 5 drinks.
Yeah, people getting their fills, and we're all like,
dude, we're just trying to fuck around.
And yeah, we're trying to fuck around, and every comedian, like, there's a little bit of like an egomaniac and like self-absorbed in some ways where you think you're the funniest person in the room, and like, you know, you're surrounded by all these successful comedians, and but you're just, for some reason, there's something in your brain that's like, well, yeah, but like, I'm gonna be more successful than they are, like, or I'm also gonna be successful, like.
I think you have to have that like forward thinking to make it. You know, you kind of have to have this like false sense of confidence,
definitely,
which, you know, isn't necessarily the case. Like, it's not always a false sense of confidence, but it's kind of like manifesting in a way. It's like, I have to see myself there. And also, to talk about that too, it's like, anyone I feel like who's going up on stage in front of a crowd of people has to have that like, that self-confidence, that a little bit of that ego where it's like, you know, I can do this.
Yeah.
That's a fucking hard thing to do.
It is, yeah. Yeah, I think, it's unfortunate. Just not everyone knows how to control it. So it's, there's a lot of good groups like there. Dude, that's the thing is like, that sucks is like, when you run shows, so many people hit you up to do it. And it's like, there's people that it's like, they're cool and I enjoy them with a hang, but they're like not funny or they don't work hard. And I'm like, bro, there's like over 100 like funny, hardworking comedians, and a show is 6 comics.
Right.
And me and my co-hosts are 2 of it. So there's 4 spots to give out. Like, that means that you should get on once every 100 times, basically. And it's like, you're not out working hard. I can't justify giving you a spot over A, B, and C. Like, it doesn't. It doesn't make sense, man. And if you want these spots, then work hard. Like, do the like all the shit you didn't want to do, we did.
Right.
And that's why we're there. And so it's like, yeah.
I feel like people don't really understand, and I don't really understand. I'm not a comedian. How much work really goes into it, you know, kind of like you're saying, like, you're looking at people and you're like, dude, we've been grinding, and you know, you're kind of half-assing this. Like, automatically, my respect for you is a little, not that I don't respect you, but like, it's a little bit lower than some of these other people, even if they're not as funny as you.
Yeah,
you know. So like, how hard is it? Like, how much work does it really take, at least in your instance, to be a comedian? Because I feel like it's definitely a lot.
Yeah, someone who's like not. Like, I'm a comedian and I make money off it, but I'm still like not even close. But just what I've been told by like people who are like that level that I would feel confident to be like, let me give you advice at, but like have said and has really resonated with me is like, I know it sounds corny, but it's like the grind of your 10,000 hours.
Right.
You can't like, whenever I talk to someone and they're like, I'm nervous to go up tonight. I'm like, oh, no. Like, not that part, but they go, I'm like, oh yeah. And they're like, yeah, man, I haven't been on stage in like 8 days. I'm just like, what? You can't do that. You're gonna like, what has made me the best when I made my big jump was I went out every night and I would do shows every night. And I would do, if I wasn't on a show, I would do a mic. If there wasn't a mic, I would go hang out at a show. I would be around comedy and I would grind. And a reason why I keep getting better is because on average a month, like I'm doing 20 to 30 paid spots a month. And then I'm doing some open mics on top of that too. And then podcasting and all this stuff. So it's like, there's reps on reps on reps. So I guess like to get good at stand-up is like, you have to just keep doing it. Mm-hmm. Like you have to keep building reps because you have to like, a joke is never done. Like you add tags to jokes 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, you tell a joke for 6 months straight and then you push it away because it's not part of your 10 that you're working on, but then you got to run 25 minutes. So you bring it back out and then you add some new tags to it. You don't touch it for a while, you bring it back and you try a new angle. Like it's just reps after reps after reps.
It's a lifestyle, it sounds like.
A lifestyle of just like committing, making your thoughts and mind about it and just falling in love with the idea of like, oh, I came up with a new joke tonight. Yeah. I came up with a new tag. Like I wrote a new joke like a couple days ago that's been doing like immediately just started doing good on stage. Mm-hmm. And it's like my new fun bit. And I like, cause it's new and it's that. The cool thing about old jokes, especially when you get them teed up, is you can almost be like, I know that this is going to work.
Yeah.
I've done it 100 times. Mm-hmm. But these new jokes, when they work right away, you get that confidence, but then also there's like the fun of you haven't told it a bunch. It's new. It makes you laugh because you're not just telling it all the time. Mm-hmm. Like that's such a good, like fun feeling, man. Yeah. So yeah, I guess just like my answer would just be like, and it sounds corny, it's like just grind, just commit. Like if you really want to do it, because that's what you have to do, go up every night of the week. You could take maybe one night off. If you have a girlfriend or life, chill. But other than that, just grind is really the answer, I guess.
That's sounds as legit as it can be.
Yeah.